Yeah, so I was only stuck under my bed for like 4 hours.
Only 4 hours?
Yeah. Hello everyone in this English class, and welcome to the LoveSeat Podcast. I'm your host, Noah, and with me is my co-host.
Hi! Today we will be talking about this funny little thing called love, and oh boy, it's cringy.
Oh, super cheesy.
And we love all of it.
This is about the good and the bad, the salty and the sweet of love.
We collected a few short stories from workers on our team and even stole a few from Reddit.
This first story is from our amazing producer and editor, from the time he worked in a local Utah haunted house. Spooky.
And without further ado, let's do it.
Alright. I used to work at a haunted house in Linden, Utah, called Strangling Brothers for about 3 weeks until I quit. On this particular night, I had a bunch of clown makeup. If you look at the photo, you can see I was quite scary. Not featured in the photo, I had a clown jumpsuit and a metal bat. As a haunted house worker, I thoroughly enjoyed scaring the crap out of people.
Pun intended.
There were certain techniques that I have learned through trial and error, but for the most part, the costume and my movements were the most effective thing I had to scare someone. The setting of the area I was working was called the carousel, because of the decrepit carousel that lay rotting there for quite some time. In this particular story, I had a new batch of people screaming in the area before mine. Since they were making a ruckus and being louder than most groups, I knew that this one would be really easy to scare. I decided to climb up on the platform and just stare at them as they came in. A small group of 4, 2 guys and 2 girls, came in, arm in arm with their dates. In front, the guy was leading, and in the back, a girl was in front of another guy. Immediately, I knew that the guy in the back was my target because he was the most scared. I waited for them to get closer and jumped off, giving them all a scare. I heard a loud noise, and he screamed the loudest. I gave them a little break before scaring them again, and I noticed the man was walking funny. He's got his butt clenched, and she's in a protective stance. My coworker was dressed up in a clown costume but had a dead bunny impaled on a stick. That was his prop to scare people. He runs up to the guy and scares him so bad. After which, the girl he is with turns around and punches my coworker's nose. In much confusion, we kind of just backed off of them and let them leave. Afterwards, we realized that the guy in the back had pooped his pants. The spot where I first jumped off the platform, there was a little bit of poop. When we saw it, we laughed so hard. We almost forgot about the next group that was almost starting to walk in. And my friend had forgotten about his nose, which was now trailing a stream of blood. This explains why he was walking funny with his butt clenched. Till this day, I think the girl realized we made him crap his pants and probably punched my coworker because she was very defensive and trying to protect him. I could only imagine the conversation they had after the haunted house. In this crappy love story, I think the girl knew about the situation her date was in, and I expect that she went on defense for him and hit my coworker to protect the guy from further shame. I don't know what happened after, if they got closer or further apart. God only knows. Anyways, I wish the couple well and hope to one day hear the experience they shared this night.
Oh, wow. Well, I feel awful for that poor guy. That just makes me think of one time when I was in junior high, one of my friends was talking to her crush, and she really needed to use the restroom, but she didn't want to leave him, and so we were just kind of hanging there talking, so she toughed it out and waited until the conversation kind of died down before bolting away. Unfortunately, she didn't bolt away in time and ended up peeing her pants on the way to the bathroom.
Oh, wow. Who would have thought?
So anyway, are there any love sparks that you remember right now, producer?
All I remember is that I received $50 as a bonus from the generous nugget they left behind.
Well, that was an unfortunate love story.
What don't you mean?
Please remember, this is a family-friendly podcast.
Oh, right.
This next story is about young love.
Oh, I remember my 4th grade crush, Kevin Jonas, the underrated Jonas brother. I mean, everybody was all about
Hey. This is a real love story, not some fantasy.
Okay.
Alright, let's hear it.
We were in the same second grade class. He had a massive 8-year-old crush on me. He wrote me a note professing his love for me and slipped it under my school box. Another student noticed, gave the note to the teacher, which she proceeded to read out loud, and mortified him. 2 years later, in 4th grade, his family moved across the country for his mom's job. Fast forward 8 years, at this point we were 16, he adds me on Facebook and starts messaging me, asking if I remember him. I had no recollection. He tells me all these stories about us when we were in 2nd grade, and I was totally creeped out. I checked my yearbook and he did exist, but it didn't jog my memory at all. We kept chatting, and he mentioned that his extended family still lived in my home state, and he came up to visit frequently, suggesting that next time he was in town we should get together. We did just that, and from then on we were in a relationship. He lived 1,000 miles away from me, and we dated for 5.5 years at this distance. We flew to see each other about every 3 months all those years, then moved closer to him when I went to graduate school. We moved in together a year later. Upon graduating with my master's, we moved back to our home state. His family had recently moved back as well. Last fall, we got engaged, and we were married this summer. Oh, and about 2 years into our relationship, my mom found the note in a scrapbook that he had written me in 2nd grade. It was displayed at our wedding.
Oh, that's adorable.
Are you crying, Noah?
No. Britton just brought onions into the room. Yeah, that's it.
Guys, do we have a tissue box in this room?
These aren't tears, man. So anyway, I believe we're closing in on the end of our love seat. Have you heard about the ring proposal?
Oh, like where someone proposes with a ring? I remember some guys in choir class got married over a ring pop as a joke, but I don't think that's really about love.
Well, this next story is an actual proposal with a rapper. It's short, and it really captures a deep meaning of love.
I mean, a girl's gotta have a rock, though. I don't know if I would say yes to a rapper, but let's hear it.
All right. So, I asked my wife to marry me on our second date. This was totally out of my character, and even now typing it, it sounds crazy. I just knew she was the person for me. I can't explain it. I just knew. We have been married for almost 12 years now, and we still have a great marriage and could not imagine life without her.
What was her reaction?
She said yes immediately, and I didn't have a ring at the time, so I used a rolled up chewing gum wrapper. She still has the paper ring and keeps it in her jewelry box. I think she would be more upset losing the wrapper than she would her actual wedding ring.
Okay. That actually makes me change my mind. A rapper might be better.
The perfect way to close up the first and only LoveSeat Podcast. Goodbye, everyone. Sweet journey.
All right. Thank you to everybody who has participated. Britton Anderson,
Hugh Harps, Dallin Parker,
Jade Stevens?
And Noah Patterson.
and especially of all, our favorite English teacher, Natalie Christensen.